All right, we're rolling. Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day. I am 100% Irish today,
Oh,
but
just today.
just today.
Okay.
Anyways, I wanted to get in a festive mood a little bit and have some fun with everybody. Thank you for investing your time to come here on St. Patrick's Day. This is going to be recorded like the rest of them, so no big deal if you couldn't be here, but we do have an incredible training, and Barb's going to go over some amazing stuff that I think is really going to help everybody dial some stuff in. So just each week, we kind of want to do a recap of where we've been, why we got there, and why we're where we're at right now. So this is like week 4, I think. I think we're week 4, week 5. But the genesis of this whole idea for our team was Hillary and Barb and myself want to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions, to talk about your challenges, to get some training, to get some ideas. And we wanted to dial it all the way back to what we would call the very beginning. You know, how do people even build network marketing, right? Well, back in the day, before cell phones, right, people actually talked to each other. A strange concept, right? Well, I had the opportunity to meet a gentleman who's made $100 million in this industry. His name's Jeff Roberti. And I asked him the $100 million question. What if you had one thing to tell people about building this industry? What's that piece of advice you would give? And he said, have more conversations. Talk to more people. It will solve all problems in network marketing. It will build your skill, your confidence, everything will go up if you'll just have more conversations. So we set out to find a way to help everybody have more conversations, and we're calling it Play 21 so you can ABC, then 1, 2, 3. Play 21 so you can ABC, then 1, 2, 3. I think most people on here have been exposed to that over the last few weeks. But it's basically reach out to 2 people every day with your voice message if you can, whether it's a birthday or anniversary or just because. And at the end of your little, whatever your message is, invite them to connect. Hey, let's have coffee this week. Let's connect. It's been a while. That's your 2 reaches. And then have one conversation with someone every day. It could be one of the 2 people, like mine is going to be tonight. One of my 2 reaches out. I'm actually having a conversation with them at 8:30. So it's that simple, guys. Do that, because what that will do is this. If you're having more conversations, you're going to have more invitations, right? And the more invitations you have, you're going to lead them right through the opportunity to see what we have, a destination where there's more information. So it's like this. More conversations lead to more invitations to a destination where there's more information. Simple. Conversations, invitations, destination, information. And that's what we're trying to do with this Play 21 so you can ABC, then 1, 2, 3. We need to stop, though, and dial it back before we get to 1, 2, 3 and talk about something that's really basic that everybody has challenges with. We were talking about it today. And that is your why, guys, and the challenges that you have. Okay? The why and whatever your challenges are. And Barb's got a great training dialed up for us today, and we're just going to get right into it. So just wanted to recap a little bit. You guys can go back and catch those recordings. There's like 3 or 4 of them now that go into detail, the 21 ABC part. But now we're going to go back and capture the why part and your challenges. So, all right, Barb, take it away.
Okay. Okay. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yep.
Thumbs up.
Perfect.
Awesome. So we're going to do it. We're going to start with an exercise real quick. So with this exercise, you need to be completely honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with anybody else, just with yourself. And you're going to answer some questions. And this is going to help you identify where your struggle is, if you even have one. Okay, maybe you don't have one, but maybe you do. And this way we can identify it and see if we can support you, find that foundation and move forward with support and a solution. So this is about belief, your belief in yourself. From 1 to 10, how much do you believe in yourself? 1 being not at all, 10 being 1,000%. I'll give you a few minutes to figure that out. Everybody got that number?
Ask you a question. When you say believe in yourself, what exactly, because I just asked Stephen that, and it's like, what exactly do you mean by believe in yourself? Believe in
Okay.
myself about what?
Just in your ability, your capability of who you are, how you fit in this world. Do you believe in yourself?
Okay. Okay, I'm a 10.
Awesome. Everybody else got a number? Okay, second question. What is your belief in the company? 1 being hardly any belief at all. I'm struggling. 10 being, oh my gosh, I'm on fire. I love this company and I'm ready to rock and roll. Everybody got that number? Okay, the third question is, what is your belief on the industry of network marketing? Just the industry as a whole, what is your belief? Is it really low, like none, or 10 yes? Where is your belief? Everybody got that number? Good. Thumbs up if you got that number. You have 3 numbers on your page. You don't have to share them right now if you don't want to, but we're going to go through an exercise of wherever you're at. 1, the first question is belief in yourself, knowing your why. Why did you start or become a partner with Trovorium? What was your why? What was your moment that you thought, holy crap, I love this company, I'm all in? What did you think in your mind at that moment was your why? And the more powerful that why is going to be what keeps you going when you hit a wall. Now, this is not a why that's forever. This is a why that can, over time, expand and grow. So it could start with daily pay. Like someone saw daily pay and said, yes, I'm in. But then it could grow bigger of like maybe daily pay because I want to make 6 figures a year. That's your why. Maybe your why could be, well, I want to make six figures a year, but I also want to be able to travel and support my family. Or maybe I want to take my family on an amazing reunion cruise, or whatever that is. What is that why that's going to really, really support you when times get tough? Because it all happens to us. Our mind plays a lot of tricks on us. And when we think we're doing really, really good, all of a sudden we get 5 or 10 no's, and we're like, what's happening? How come this is not working? And it has to be something I'm doing wrong. What's wrong with me? And all this stuff it goes on in your mind. You need a strong why that you can go back onto, and you can just move past all those negative thoughts and focus on that why. Okay. Second question, in the company, a lot of people, they'll start and I hear this a lot from my kids. They say, well, I'm not traveling. I don't have the experience to talk about the company. I don't know what I don't know. So therefore, I don't have that experience to share with people. Well, my suggestion is you borrow your leader's story. Borrow your leader stories until you have your own stories, because there's so many people out here that have such amazing stories of savings and of daily pay and money that they're making, that you share that story until you have your own story. And that will help build your belief. Okay. And the third one, in network marketing in general, I mean, I've been in network marketing way too long. And I've had good things happen and I had bad things happen. Some things I was really good at and some things I sucked at. You know, it is what it is. But I really do believe in network marketing because in my heart, I'm an entrepreneur. Like I love to be self-employed. I do not like to be told what to do. So get your belief on what network marketing can do for you. Get your passion and your experience and your stories from the company and what the company can do for you. And then build your belief in yourself, in the company, in the industry. And that passion, that belief will carry on into your prospects, because people are buying into you in the long run. Because first you got to sell you. And I don't like that word sell, because this is not sales. We're educating people. We're connecting with people. So, but you have to do that first with you. So you have to be confident, believe in the product, believe in yourself, believe in the industry, believe in the daily pay, believe in the comp plan, and the rest will just fall through because your passion, people will want that. You'll attract it. Okay. Now, this is a question that I want to break down is how can we support you with where you're at in the number scale? You have to be honest with us and share with us how we can support you. And that could look differently for everybody. And I just wrote down some examples. For me, I'm a red personality. I like to have control of things. And so for me, if I'm up against it and I'm up against a wall, I need an action plan. I need to take action. So if you're a red personality and you can think, you know, how do I do it if I'm up against the wall? Making an action plan, making steps that you can take. I always say there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and I got the Japanese alphabet too. So there's many solutions, infinite amount of solutions. Okay. If you're a green, you need more data. And sometimes it could be too much data. Then you might have to organize that data. How can we support you with that, right? And again, these are just examples. I'm not stereotyping anybody, okay? If you're a yellow, you might need positive affirmation. You might need some understanding. You might need someone to kind of understand the walk that you're walking and support you along that way. If you're a blue, I mean, blues love to have fun. So, but if they're not having fun and they get bored, they'll totally avoid it. So how can we support you? So again, these are some examples. How can we support you? So we're going to open it up. How can we support you based on where your numbers are at? Tell us how we can support you. And we want to make this a really powerful training that people will start realizing where they're at, so that way they can start making solutions, a direction to move forward in growing their business. Where are you guys at? Anybody want to share?
So who wants to go first?
You don't have to share if you don't want to. You can always reach out to your leader. Like, this is not one for all. Like, if you're uncomfortable, like in a group, that's totally like this. I'm totally uncomfortable in a group. Like, I'm like shaking like a leaf right now.
Oh, you're doing great.
I'm totally uncomfortable with this kind of setting. But if you're more comfortable with a one-on-one, reach out to your leader and you can do that. Yes, Charlotte.
Okay, so if nobody else wants to go, I will go ahead and step forward. Because I mean, I know what my why is, all right? You know, when I first came into it, it was about travel because I grew up overseas and I wanted to be able to go back over there, all right? And as opposed to the income, and my daughter looked at it, my mother looked at it, but what I run into here is, that, and I hear the messages about, lead with the money, all right? But I'm not getting people responding to that
No.
at all.
Right. At the end of the day, Charlotte, you have to be authentically you. You have to follow your passion and what caught your attention. For
Right.
me, travel was my attention. Like that's what caught my eye. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't even pay attention to the comp plan until 6 months later. Now I'm becoming an expert at it because I'm studying it and I'm learning it in and out. I'm learning how to place people. I'm really becoming that, so that way I'm more comfortable and I'm building my belief regarding the comp plan. When you can do that, you got both. You got your travel
Right.
and you got the comp plan. But start with your passion first, which was travel. Speak about that. And then go into, because you're going to attract what you are. So
Right.
just focus on that.
So,
Don't be something that's not you.
right. And so, because I've been having actually discussions with my daughter, and my daughter's 30. And so she falls into that Gen Z millennial group.
Mhm.
And she's very blunt with me. And she says, Mom, she says, this routine, this network marketing routine of, hey, you know what? Let me put you on a 3-way call. Okay. She says, we don't want to hear that.
No.
Okay.
Millennials, and they don't like the 3-way calls.
They hate it.
They hate it. So
But I told her, I said, what we can do is create a narrative about, because the latest trend right now is micro. Have you heard the term micro retirements?
no.
No.
Okay, go Google up micro retirements. That is what Gen Zs and millennials are doing.
Mm.
They work for 3-4 years and then they want to take 6 months. But anyway, but that I digress. Okay, so I guess my issue is finding how to talk, to get them to that point where they want to get more information.
Okay.
Charlotte.
Well, for me, I don't like 3-ways. I hate Zooms. So for me, I do way better. Every single person that I've enrolled, I've done one-on-one.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So just because someone else has done it that way doesn't mean everybody has it done. There's 101 ways to skin a cat. Like find your way that works for you and
Okay.
work it that way, because authentic Charlotte is going to attract people that like authentic Charlotte.
Okay. No, and I really appreciate you saying that, because I mean, I know like Hillary, you and I have had conversations. Randy, you and I have had conversations. Sarah, you and I have had conversations and gone round and round. And, and I have struggled with the direction that I've been told that I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's following your passion. Just
Right.
follow your passion.
And
Yeah.
we're all independent contractors. So we don't work for Triborium. We don't work for anybody else. We work for ourselves. So we get to choose what fits within our
Okay.
authentic self, like what brings us peace, what brings us joy, and whatever that works for you, then do that. Because that's where you're going to have the most success. You're going to be in alignment with yourself.
Okay. Because,
So,
okay. All right. Yes.
So I have a quick thing. So, a best thing to
talking?
do is, like you said, be your authentic self, because
Yes.
they can smell. I've been in business for a long time, and I tried the way with the 3-way call, the same thing with you. I tried the Zoom. They can tell we're a fish out of water and we're not comfortable. Be who you're comfortable with, but ask them, because I have a lot of friends that are blue, and I'll start talking about the money. They shut down. They're gone. They don't want to hear about
They want to
the
hear fun.
Yeah, so I just started doing, and I mean, just recently after 2 years, like I didn't understand anything coming from I mean, I was just like I was lost. I could talk to people. So I finally said, okay, you can talk to people if you, and I'm more an extrovert, but I just said, let's just keep it simple. What do you want? Do you want money or do you want travel? You can have both. Just keep
Right,
it
if you
simple. And
choose.
it says, what do you dream about? You get them you start asking them questions saying, oh, we can do this for the money. Well, you know, they think of a scam. So you just have to come up and say, what do you want? You
Right.
know, and when you say that, they'll say, and I'm like, and then you have to say, why do you want it? You know?
Yeah.
And then I'm at the age now, I'll be 65 in May. And before I was like, oh, I love to travel and money. Now screw that. I want retirement. I want to,
Right.
know that your price. So go to the people you're demographically talking to. And even at 60, I was like, I got time for money. You know, I'll just use that kind of money. But when you get into the people that are a little over 60, you want to mirror what they're saying. And that's been working now. I've gone back to all the people we're talking to, and they say, don't get me on a three-way call. And every three-way call, I want to tell you, those people were ignoring me. They're ignoring me. It was like,
Yeah.
and this was a warm market. I mean, and it was like, well, I guess that three-way didn't quite work way up.
Yeah.
They're ignoring me. I mean,
And
I don't know how
some
to get them back.
some works for some people, and that's great. And but some it does not. And that's okay. There is no set way. I'd say find your belief in yourself, in the company, in the industry, know your why, and then just be authentically you and do what works for you. And then find a way or figure out a way how we can support you when you're up against that wall, when you're getting triggered or you think all hope is lost, that you've had your final, 20th no, and you just can't handle it. How can we support you to get you up over that wall? Anybody else?
I know Kate said she wanted to share. Kate,
Okay.
you don't have to be shy. Just unmute yourself. Go ahead and share away.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm kind of an orphan, and Sarah Pease and Kelly D have kind of adopted me.
We
Yay.
So
love orphans in our group. I know Charlotte feels like she's an orphan, but she's my buddy, and I found out she's with Sarah. I'm like, oh my God, we have to do meetings together, and that's how this
Yeah.
basically was born, was because of Charlotte and I.
yeah, so my last this is March. Okay, so probably about my last 4 months have been better because I've been coddled by those two, mostly by Sarah. And I've been in a little over a year. I have one partner. I had two and one dropped, and I think the drop was financial. As far as my belief in myself, I do believe that I can get it done. Where I hit a wall with is that I don't really feel like I have the support of my spouse. So that kind of tears me down. A good example, I just made reservations to go see my in-laws for Mother's Day. And so he searches after the fact and says, hey, I found this where it would save us $5. It's $5 cheaper than what you got. I said, make the reservation. I'll cancel it. No, that's okay. So I'm battling that, and I'm not quite sure how to kind of stand on my own. I can stand on my own. I'm a pretty aggressive person. I'm a Christmas tree. I'm action and data. Give me data and let me look at
Okay.
it.
So what is your why, Kate?
My why initially was for travel. I'm going to retire this year. And when it was introduced to me, I already had something scheduled that I had a travel agent handle for me. And the person that presented it to me at that time I gave her very specifics on what I was looking at, and she gave me a 1-bedroom suite at the exact same place, exact same dates, and it was $200 less. And it's like, sold. I'm there because I had a basic 2-queen bedroom. And so I really enjoyed because of the travel. But now I want to get my people under me so that I'm not having to pay and for my membership. And I joined as a titanium, and I also want to upgrade.
Okay.
So I want to upgrade at my next anniversary, but part of it is I want to have my people before I upgrade.
Right. So see how her why has expanded? It started with travel. Like, and that it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen like that. It's just gonna evolve. And so, Kate, I would recommend like sit with that a little bit longer and see
Okay.
if you can like narrow down the real why that you want to grow this business. Like,
Okay.
what is the big why? Yes, you started with travel, but now you want a free membership. But what is that big why that's going to help you get over the wall when your husband challenges you? What is that why you're going to say, you know what? I don't really care what he says because this is my why.
Okay.
Okay. So
Thank-
get
yep.
it stronger, like narrow it down. And like you should have some kind of emotional response with that why. It should be that big.
Okay.
So if you have something that starts off and it keeps evolving, like have it evolve to the point where you have an emotional response, a positive emotional response. Okay.
Okay.
Does
Yes.
does anybody else have great ideas helping her with her husband? Like, how does it work for you, Jeanette, with your husband? Is he supportive? Or Brenda mentioned that her husband is getting better. I'd be just curious because this has been a huge issue for me in the past. And I solved it by getting a divorce. But
I don't want to do that.
I don't recommend that, but there are many other reasons. But you know what I mean? Like, that's a huge thing if you're partnering with somebody and they're not supportive.
For us, our goal has always been to make money together.
We are a team and we're doing this together no matter what. I'm
Good.
sorry for your young lady for you having to struggle with that, and it makes it tougher, that's for darn sure.
Kate, this is Kelly. One of my whys is I'm just leaving my last patient's house. I can't do this anymore. It's too late. But anyway, what I was also going to say is remind your husband that not only it may be $5 more, but how many loyalty points are you going to get, which is going to take you to the next level to get another vacation or whatnot. And sharing that experience on that trip and everything, it's going to give friends, family, Facebook friends even more exposure because you're going to be able to say, talk about your accommodations and talk about, your experience. So you can look at it that way as well.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I saved over $1,700 last year on 3 trips. And I told him, I said, do you know that we saved we saved $1,700 last year on these trips? And it's like, oh, and it's like, yeah. So I have 2 years of membership paid for.
Yeah.
But then I'm trying to stay positive, and then I'm fighting the battle on the next trip I want to take.
Another thing also is, because I've seen a lot of my partners' husbands, you take them on a world tour and all of a sudden they're like, oh, 5-star all-inclusive and we only spent $129. There may be something to this. So yeah, I would, get him more and more exposure, but a world tour is a good way and I know you've got points.
Yes.
But a world tour, I've seen more than one husband change their attitude after they've been on a world tour.
And at the end of the day, I mean, what I've seen in my experience is not me personally, but other people that I have coached, that if you just start living the life, they're either going to have one of two choices. They're either going to step up and like follow you, or they're going to say, hey, I hate this. I don't want to do this. Most of the time, I'd say a good 99.99% of the time, they're going to wake up and start following your lead because they're going to like what they see. they're going to like the happy version of you because you're having fun and you're living life and you're doing things that you want to do. He's going to want to be part of that.
That's where I'm trying to get. And we still
Yeah.
have our incentive trip to take because I've been, I get resistance every
Yeah.
time I've tried to schedule it.
Well,
Brenda, do you have something to share?
I had a couple quick things I wanted to say about that. One is that part of my belief was when I went on the Jamaica World Tour, and I went because I wanted to be around Cynthia. I know her from a previous company. I thought she was amazing, but I got an amazing belief when I went up to her husband and said hi. I think I'd seen him at a training, but boy, did he have the biggest smile on his face. And it was literally like, hi, I love Javorian. That was what his face said. And I thought, oh my God. I said, how you digging this business? Because we've been through a few. And he goes, I love it. And it was so obvious from a husband's perspective. And every trip I go on now, I hug him and shake his hand, and it helps me. Does that make sense? And there was one other thing. Oh, I've heard this time and time again that sometimes somebody out there can find a better deal than we can. But now that we have the new travel site, I think that would be pretty difficult. But I know like some people who are a Hilton member or whatever, and an American Express, and they have whatever extra points, and they go, oh my God, aha, I found the hole in your whole thing. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I get daily pay on top of my savings. So do you get paid on your Hilton Head things? And I have a good friend that I actually met up with on my trip in Cabo, and she's been really resistant to any of this. And it's because she has 500,000 points. And I'm like, at the end of the day, she's not getting paid daily pay. She may be saving money, but not making money, right? Whereas I'm making money while I'm in here in Cabo. So that helps me greatly. And you might, suggest that to your husband if that's helpful.
What's the question you asked me, Hillary?
We
Is
were
about
talking
husband?
ideas around helping people with getting their husbands on board.
He went on a trip with
Also-
me.
Also, just remember, there are other things you can buy at a great discount in the back office. It doesn't have to be travel, theme park tickets, activities, even appliances. If you have an appliance that goes out,
Yeah,
so
that's just
remember that
gravy.
as well.
Does anybody else have questions, want to share where they're at? And we want to just make sure we have 20 minutes left to address other people's, where they're at on their belief.
I had something that I'd like to share just in addition to what was said about that, with the spouse and not us, not being supportive. The other thing too is even, before you have your 3 people where your membership's covered every month, as long as you're promoting it as a business standpoint and you're a partner, then you can write that off. So, that's tax write-offs. And then as you start to take your trips and if you do
Only if you make
activities,
600.
excursions, yeah, right. And anything over 600, then you would get the 1099.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Have to be over 600?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
What?
As long as you're writing it down. As long as you have 3 years to turn a profit.
Yeah, Jeremy said you have 3 years to turn a profit. He's listening on the other
Yes.
side. But
Startup
what I'm-
businesses, you have 3 to
Yeah.
5 years.
yeah.
You
So-
have 3 to 5 years to turn a profit.
If you make under $600, you need to keep track of how much you made.
Jeremy said, but if you make under $600, you do need to keep track of what you made. But ultimately, at the end of the day, your monthly membership is a tax write-off until you do get your 3. Your trips are also a tax write-off. And even after you have your 3, it's coming out of your commissions. And you can still write it off as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Because
Before
of
you're
that.
600.
Coming out.
Before
Mhm.
you're 600.
Yes.
Because my
Mhm.
husband's arguing with me about that.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, because you, like she said, you have 3 to 5 years to turn a profit. So as long as you have intention of building a business and
Yep.
you're sharing on social media, you're sharing with people, then
You're
yeah,
actively
absolutely.
participating.
And
Mhm.
the thing I was gonna share
Yes.
too is as you start to have success in this, you get your 3 people, your membership's covered every month, right? As you go forward and they start to see your success, because, maybe, certain people have done other things in the past and, the spouse kind of loses belief in that. But as you start to have success too, going forward, then that's really going to help raise their belief too.
It
With that,
will.
keep on keeping on because you're working your business, you're doing great. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Sarah.
I was $50 for my 600.
For those people that, I don't know who it was that said they needed that documentation for their husband, Sarah, or whoever was chiming in, if you could do a quick write-up in one of our groups and I'd share it with the other person so they have more, something visual to see
You just
along.
do a Schedule C. You do a Schedule C, you show what you made. If it's less than 600, you show what you made and what you spent on your Schedule C. That's it. You name your company. And then once you
Okay.
get a 1099, you're going to continue that Schedule C. It's a very easy form.
All right.
So Todd and I have not been on a world tour yet, but he's
Ooh.
already a believer.
Awesome.
Just bring him along and force him to relax. He'll have a good time and then he'll be happy. And, I'm not saying he's miserable, but he needs to be less miserable.
Yeah, fingers
Just
crossed
start-
here.
Start
Yeah,
enjoying life. He's going to
getting
join
him
you.
getting him on the trip, and especially like we went to Orlando and met up with the team and everything,
Mhm.
and we've met husbands and couples, and that's a great way to kind of get testimonial from other couples and other husbands and how they feel about it. So I recommend doing that as well. So if there's any sort of company event coming up, or even the world tours, I would recommend getting your husband on those rather than just the onesie twosies. It'll have a big impact, and he'll see the rest of the team just fired up on everything. So that's what I
I think
recommend.
Lisa wants to share something next. We're going to get her in the queue.
That was a great share, and yeah, world tours change everything, people. Yeah, it's the best training is to get your team on a world tour. And if you haven't done one yourself, get yourself on a world tour. But
I agree. That does sound interesting. But one of my challenges is time, and I just wrote down an idea. I do kids books, and so I was thinking about tying that in with my business to give me a little more time, make the two work together. But has anyone else met that challenge, or just
Yeah, I mean, I have a single mom that works 2 jobs, has 5 kids, and she's busy. Like her little one was sick today. And, I just told her, you just find the cracks and you put it in there. Like, this is not a lot of work. You connect with 2 people, you reach out to 2 people and you share the video with 1. Find the cracks in your day. Everybody has a job. Everybody has children. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has the same amount of time. Just find the little cracks that you can fit it into. It may seem overwhelming, trying to do that, but once you get used to doing it, it gets so easy.
great question. Thank you guys for sharing your
Anybody else?
challenge.
So I haven't heard it from anybody on how we can support you. If you're up against the wall, how can we support you? Like, for example, for me, if I'm up against the wall, I just need to make action steps. So if I'm up against the wall, someone needs to sit down with me. Okay, let's plan. What actions can you take? And plan A, plan B, plan C. That's how I can get out of a funk and get out of the wall. What things or how can we support you to get up over that wall once you hit it?
Tell you what, having these Zoom, this particular type of a Zoom with this group, I think is so therapeutic. for starters. I'm going to say that because it's very positive. It has the right vibe, and we're focused on, I think, more subjects that relate to us, to all of us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So one
Agreed.
suggestion I had, guys, that I've done in a previous training, and it may or may not be helpful. I know Barb's saying, please go and talk to your leader on your team. And if you don't identify with your leader, please go up the food chain. My leader's Randy. My other leader is Sarah. But my suggestion for you is if you are just having one of those days where your beliefs changes, tell me that's never happened to anybody.
It's gonna happen.
It happened to me yesterday. My suggestion is find a buddy. It could be your leader, it could be a buddy. And some people are, you know, we all have different personalities, and Barb mentioned the color training and that kind of thing. But if your leader's not available, find a buddy. If you need a buddy, we could talk about that in our groups, but be a team together. Some of you that are married, that's a great thing. You already have a buddy. So just some ideas. If it's not helpful, just scratch this, erase the board. But I found it really helpful. I called a few buddies yesterday, got out of my shit, I realigned, I'm good to go today. But if I didn't have that, and I know that about myself, I just needed 24 hours. I always give myself 24 hours and then I shift.
Yep.
You don't stay in your shit for weeks because you're a leader of self.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Hillary, just to kind of tag on to what you just now said, you know, where we do go, we spiral down sometimes. But the one thing, when you asked the question about what's our belief in the company, I absolutely know that this is the end all be all that I want to be in, you know, to be involved with, evolve. I don't care how long it takes, you know. Sure, I'd like it to be, you know, but everybody has a different mechanism, but it aligns with where I want to go, you know, where we want to go with Stephen, with my daughter, with my mother. You know, David Hart is an absolute gem. You know, I worked for a guy years ago that reminded me of him, and that was George Zimmer from the Men's Warehouse. And he had a philosophy that, you know, if he took care of the employees first, then the customers would be taken care of. And that's what made him great. That's what made his company great. And then that is not the philosophy now, because he's no longer involved. But then when I heard David Hart, I'm like, oh my God, there's another one like him. And that's, you know, and it resonated. And David Hart was, strangely enough, just for anybody that's got Gen Z, you know, kids, whatever, David Hart resonated with my 30-year-old daughter. That's the only reason why she joined, was because of David Hart. So keep that in mind for those of you that have adult kids. Get them to listen to David Hart. They want somebody that's genuine, and David Hart is that.
Oh, go ahead.
I have an odd question. I have so many people coming to me wanting me to join their page, which is a vendor page. Of course, they're asking for payment. I won't do that. Is anybody else doing that for advertising?
No.
Nope.
Good. I won't do it.
Yeah, I've been invited to those too, and most of it is like chit chat between the vendors, and I don't see a lot of sales, so I don't do that. I have done things like health fairs. I've done other things, you know, mostly I think the one-on-one is what works best for me when I remember to get to work, which is going to be better. I'm getting better. But those vendor things, I just never had much luck.
Okay. Because I say no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm doing a few online vendor events for exposure.
On the training, and I can't remember which training it was, somebody talked about, and it was one of Daryl Maria's ones. He talked about how he goes and hangs out at a hotel in the lobby.
Oh,
Okay. That's all he just hangs out there. And he says, and people come sit down, and then he, hey, what are you doing here? And what he says, I'm just hanging out waiting for somebody or something. And it gets into conversation because these people are traveling.
It's connecting with people, Phil. That's what
Yes,
it's about.
But
Connecting with
you're in
people.
the right environment sitting in a hotel. And he goes to bougie hotels, by the way, he said.
okay.
So that might be better than going to a craft fair where they're not interested in that. I mean, I bottomed out on that one, but that was an interesting perspective.
Does
Yeah.
anybody want to share some struggles that they've had this week or successes apart from the topic here? Or if you want to carry on with the topic, please do.
I'll share a success from this week. Janet, who's on our team, Bukowski, she's been sharing with the lady off and on, and Lori knows. Lori, are you on here?
She texted me that she had to get off.
Okay.
She lost connection.
No worries. So, Janet needed some help upline, and she came up, whoever was available. And I said, absolutely. And by the way, I'll do anything for you guys, 3 ways, whatever it takes, talk to people. But she talked to this gal for about a year, and she kept coming back to her, wanted more information, and then she would ghost her. So we used what we trained on the invite on her, and we dialed her down to a point where she had to commit eventually. She said, when can you watch it? For sure. And that got her. So we actually had a conversation with her, and it was a great conversation. We just talked about, her life and where this would fit for her and what outcome she wanted out of this, because she kept coming back. So I asked her, well, what is the outcome you're looking for here that we can serve you with? Well, I love to vacation with my daughters and stuff. And I said, well, is anything going to change in the next 6 months? She's like, no. And I said, other than people are going to be on vacation with their families? She goes, ah. I said, so, you could join us now. There's no contracts or anything. And 6 months from now, you could be on vacation with your daughters in Orlando like you want to. And so it was a win for Janet, because Janet was struggling with the invite piece, nailing people down, and then following up like she said she would, and then releasing the outcome, being totally okay if they didn't watch it, because she just said, no problem. When do you think you can watch it? For sure. So it was a win for Janet, because now she sees that little piece of the invite that's allowing her to get more retention, more people coming back. So that was a win for Janet. I just wanted to share it. She's not on here.
So the lady joined.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
That's one thing for sure. Getting your first one definitely builds belief. You get your first one, you're on fire. Your second and third one will be not that far away. So go get your first and watch what happens.
I call it
It does build.
popping the cherry.
Yeah.
I would recommend also being a tourist in your own town.
Oh,
If you can't get away, be a tourist in your own town and use our platform to book your tickets, right? For
Yep.
these one day whatevers. And then
just
you'll
booked
be
a trip.
around people that travel or might be out of town doing the touristy thing, and you're like, then you can strike up a conversation that way.
Yep.
And
That's an excellent, that's an excellent idea.
It is.
Yep. I just booked a 2-night, 3-day trip for my grandbabies for spring break. It's a tradition. Every spring break we do something. We don't fly anywhere because they don't get a whole lot of time off, but we just go here somewhere in Colorado Springs that has an amazing pool, and we spend time with them. We do it every spring break. Well, every fall break, every summer break, every break, we take a little local trip.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
for anybody that's struggling with the conversation part, their confidence or whatever it is, I'm going to highly recommend you go and watch on YouTube Richard Bliss Brook Curiosity-Based Prospecting. Because if you're nervous about conversations, if you'll take his training, you'll be able to talk to anybody, guys. Because all it does, you totally focus on that person. Whatever they say, your next question follows that one. And you just keep following it and just hammering away questions. And you don't have to worry about your confidence because they're the most important person and you just made them the most important person. And it makes conversation so easy because you don't have to worry about yourself.
What was the name of that again? Richard Bliss Brooks, Curiosity what?
Curiosity-Based Prospecting.
Thank you.
It will help. It will help you to see the conversation in a different light instead of a target that you're going after, right? You're seeing someone and you want to make them the most important person in the room.
Thank you.
So like Daryl sitting in the lobby, or Jeanette at a local event, you're just talking to someone and you just make them feel like they're the most important person in the world because you're just asking them question after question. You're just following what they said. And after you do this a couple of times, guys, it's going to become like natural for you to have conversations with people because remove the idea. Yeah.
Lose their job.
Yeah, and you just got to keep searching for the no. Yesterday, Jenny and I were in a lobby and we were talking to these two YouTubers out of Canada and they were just boom, rudest, hardest no we've ever encountered. So we know we're on the right path and there's going to be a yes really soon because we got slapped hard with this arrogant Canadian dude and it was like, oh my God. It's like, the yeses are coming. It's right on the root.
Yeah, he was it's an MLM. We're not interested.
No, Ponzi. It's a Ponzi for sure.
Yeah, he was
sure. It's a Ponzi.
Nasty.
Boo bye. But we got a solid no, and it was great to experience. Again, you got to get the no's, you got to get the yeses. The no's. No was awesome. I liked it.
That's a win. That's a win.
That's a win. Literally.
Well,
Still
I have to
bruised
say
after
it
that,
pissed
or were you able
yeah,
to come
it
back
pissed
from-
me off.
She got pissed.
It pissed me off.
Yeah.
But he was like one of 100, right, that we were around. So yeah,
Good.
but it does like even for me, I'm a pretty positive person. It hurts, right? It's like they don't understand network marketing. They don't understand all that. So, and you're not going to convince them. So don't try.
Nope.
Move on. Yeah.
I have Barb's voice in the back of my head because all I want to do is convince, but she goes, Hillary, move on, move on, move on. Look, see, move, or whatever she says.
Yeah.
You're not in the convincing business.
I know. And who said that? Todd says that in the Bible, which I haven't read the Bible, and he even says that Jesus tried to convince people. It's like, hallelujah, that helps me so much. Well, thank you guys for sharing. That's a huge win. If you come out of that without
Yeah.
being too bruised.
Yeah. And there's a difference in the no's, guys, the people that are negative. There's cynicism, then there's skepticism. The cynic we want to turn away from as soon as possible. And you'll know it by the way they say it. Oh, this must be some Ponzi scheme or whatever. When any of that happens, have
Just
a great
run.
day. Yeah, just have a great day. Now, the person that says, is this MLM? And you say, well, there's a part of that. If you're interested in that, have you ever done network marketing before? And they say, yeah, I tried it, didn't work for me or whatever. It's because they have a story. So find out what the story is. Wow. What happened? Tell me about it. I'd really like to know. And guess what they'll tell you? They'll take you down the story. And most of the time, it's because they didn't know what they were doing. There was no training. They didn't put enough time or effort in.
No belief.
No belief. They weren't using the product. And then you simply say, well, is there a chance that maybe you just didn't give it enough time? Or is there a chance that you just didn't believe in that system, So there's a difference. You can take that no that's skeptical and turn it around.
Absolutely.
Those cynics, run from them as fast as
Run.
you can because you don't want them to bring you down. You know,
Nope.
leave them with
Say,
it.
so what? Next.
Excellent. Excellent.
Any other shares?
I was gonna say a struggle that I have a lot is when someone is kind of, I mean, they're saying no, but you can tell in their voice they're still interested. Is the comeback with, well, you might not be ready now, but do you know someone that could benefit from this? I always forget to do that. So last week I really practiced doing that.
Nice.
How did that work out? Did you get a
Yeah, well, two of them said, you know, I do have someone that does like to travel and they do like concerts and they're just always on the go. This might be for them. I said, well, great. You know, how can we, you know, get in touch with them? You want, you know, you can give them my name, my Facebook, phone number. I don't care, whatever you need to do, let me know. So I said, I tell you what, I'll follow back up with you in a couple of days and see if you've reached out to them yet.
That's amazing.
So I'm getting better with that because I usually when I get the no, then it's like, okay, maybe it's not for you right now, but you know, I'll check back with you. You know, I always forget to kind of add that too because you know they may have someone that you know could benefit from it as well, and I always forget that. So I told myself all week, whoever I talk to, that I get kind of a no, or even when they say yes, I say, well, you know, think about who else you could, you know, let them know about it and they could benefit, and you can maybe do this together. You know, so I'm getting better at that.
That's great, Renee. That's a total
Good
win.
job.
Total win.
Yeah, that's amazing. I have a struggle to share. I'm here in Cabo on my incentive trip, and I just spent 4 days at a hotel. And I did meet one lady at lunch, and of course I met up with this friend. Like she texted me, "Is this you?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was from dinner the night before." So we met up. Somebody I had actually been dripping on who travels the world. She's a non-believer. I didn't mention it the whole time. I just figured it was the right thing to do. We actually had a really good time. I've been kind of lonely, to be honest. But on top of being lonely, I just wanted to be on my own. Does that make sense? So I was feeling guilty by not wanting to meet more people. And so does anybody have any suggestions on how to balance? I just want my private time to be me in my room and look at the amazing view and just, you know, being the beingness of being on vacation versus feeling like I have to go to work and meet people.
I always tell myself I can't serve from an empty cup. I don't want to serve from a saucer. I want to serve from a full cup. So you have to fill up your cup so that way
Okay.
you're overflowing and you can serve others.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it's called a reset, you know, and sometimes you need that just to reset yourself. You know, I mean, Hillary, you know, you and I talk, I mean, and you have helped me out, and I feel like I've helped you out. You know what I
My
mean?
buddy when I'm in my shit. Okay.
I know.
But
And I know when you
also-
call me, it's like, answer that dang phone.
Well,
And-
also I was woken up 2 or 3 times, 3 days in a row at 6 a.m. And anybody that knows me, I don't do mornings, but I was working. I'm working remotely. It had something to do with the other business. I took care of it. Who's going to go back to bed after that? So all day long, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I don't function well. I'm not really.
I told you go sleep next to the pool.
I did. I
Oh,
got
good.
sunburned. Can you see? I got sunburned. I get so red. I'm
Oh,
white.
no.
With these new people who are really interested. So I met one person for 4 days. I felt guilty. Oh my God.
Well, you did
Anybody else?
videos.
Huh?
You did videos, so that was great.
Yeah, but I didn't sit at the bar at the hotel and talk to. Who was it? Is Phyllis Taylor? She's amazing to me. I just love her on the calls. She did a cruise with a whole bunch of her team. I was trying to figure out why, but I'm so impressed by this woman. The new guy, if you guys followed her, the new guy, the Congo guy that just got 700 members in 90 days is on her team. And she just made ambassador and in little like 3 weeks made 1-star ambassador. But she said yesterday, so I've known her for a while in the 2 years I've been doing this. I tend to learn by watching people. I'm quiet and I just observe and I watch, what are they doing? I want to do that. What are they doing? And so I've watched her, and she said on a video live that She literally was intentional, like Danny Segnol, and talked to 15 people. And I'm like, wow, some days I just don't feel like doing that. But Danny Segnol did it in Sicily, Italy during a breakfast. He literally went to every table. Well, I wrote down what Phyllis is saying to people, and it's her thing, and she's comfortable with it, and it works for her. And actually, I have to go back and listen to it again. But it was on the call. I forget which call. There's so many calls that I've been.
What did she say? You'll have to share that with us next time.
Well, the gist of it was that she's talking about where's their next trip. And whereas Danny's saying more about retirement. They've got their spiel, they're comfortable with it. And it's literally a 30-second elevator pitch. And I know Todd's literally, I've listened to Todd enough. I met him in Sicily. He could pull it out of his hat. He has 10 on the tip of his tongue, probably 100. I don't know. I'm like, blah, blah, what do I say? Blah, blah, you know what I mean? And so you have to find your thing. But Phyllis was saying, where's your next trip? Really? Okay, what? I can't remember what she said. Does anybody else heard her thing?
When
No.
was that? When was that?
I think it was a Saturday call because I missed it and I was listening to it last
Oh,
night.
I'll go back and go listen to it then.
Jackie, I couldn't hear you. Is that what you said? Still can't hear you, Jack.
Oh, I don't
Jackie,
know.
you're muted. Okay, you're on now.
Hear you now.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago because it was about Alex. He was like just going gangbusters. So I wanted to talk to her too. Yeah, I think she's amazing.
Well, she had basically there's stuff when people share, you have to read between the lines. But she was saying, I want to, she's basically telling me she's stepping it up, doing more than she used to and being more comfortable with herself, because she said on her Facebook Live or whatever it was, is I want to be more intentional and find more builders, is what she said. Sorry, Jack, I still couldn't hear you.
Lori, that was on the call that Todd was doing. Her and I think, they did just come off a boat. It was, Keith Brown.
Keith
was a
Brown,
couple-
yeah,
It was a
love
couple
that
that
guy.
had just come off the boat, and both of them are very intentional. So I agree. When you go into a place, you get intentional of just saying hi to a couple people, especially it's a lot easier and just pick up like, what are you doing here? I mean, you just chit chat like you would be chit chatting with somebody that, think of it as going to a bus station. Okay. And there's no more seats on the bus station. So you're stuck in between these two big people. So you can't go. So what do you do if you can't do that? You say, how's your day? It's the same thing, but you're intentional on where they stand in life, not so like say, how can I make money? But just say, well, what do you want to do the rest of life? You have a plan? I mean, you start thinking, you come across genuinely, and that's when, but then it's the transition. That's where I'm at. They all know me. It's the transitioning of, okay, they know, like, and trust you, but they're watching you. They want to see if you're going to stick and stay. They're going to watch you and see what you're going to do. So that's where I'm at in my mind. So but just make sure, what I started doing is I started giving them my telephone, and I started getting the numbers that way. So it's like, hey, do you mind if you put it in there? And then in the end, you go into your telephone and you get the notes, where you met them, make it personal, what you talk about, what are dogs, just personal. And then you just text them saying, it was really nice to talk with you. Let me know if I could help you, or would you mind if we just chit chatted? And that way it's not really, but you just make that point, like you said, to be intentional. Now, I don't know how she's finding builders. I would really like to know that. How do you narrow in? Anybody know how to narrow in on builders, looking at them? I haven't gotten that one yet. I think I'm totally blue and I want to be their friend. I think I want to chase the ball. I always say I'm a squirrel. I just don't know where all the nuts
Well,
are.
you know what, the thing I found interesting was when Keith Brown said something about going on a cruise, and I went, you know what? That's exactly what we need to do more of. Cruises where it's not like as if we're staying as a group, but we need to go meet people. And where else could you have more captive audience? Because they're not going anywhere.
I was thinking the same thing. Let's intentionally go on a team cruise.
Yes, but
I
we all,
prefer-
but we don't have a meeting, or we might have some, but it's just the goal is to go meet people.
I'm going in November on an 8-day cruise. So end of November 30th. And
Well,
I've met many, many people. I'm going on Princess.
okay, so we're now Stephen and I are getting ready to go April 14th. Yeah, we're leaving. We're going to Malaysia and Singapore for 3 weeks.
That's
So
gonna be great. Just get a bunch of numbers and say, play the dumb tourist. Just play the dumb tourist and then say, hey, do you mind me tagging with you? This is all new. I've been here before, but I don't quite remember. Just play the dumb tourist so that you can get up and go up to people and you can start talking. No?
oh, I won't have an issue talking to people there. I actually lived there for 17 years.
Well, then you can help people.
Oh yeah, no, I have every intention because Singapore is open for business.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we're going to go there and see what we can drum up.
I think it's perfect.
Yep.
I think it's perfect. Get out. You want to be the only duck in the pond. You don't
Yep.
want to be in the pond with all the other ducks.
No, I know. And that's where I'll be. I've already got people lined up in Malaysia that want to join. They just can't join because they're in Malaysia.
I haven't gone international yet, as I say yet.
But
We're
that's-
about quarter after. Anybody else have any thing that they want to share regarding a struggle, a win?
I just wanted to add something too. So like with Hillary on her trip, when you guys are on vacation, it's so much easier to talk to people about travel, and then you can get to know them. You know, like you can develop more of a relationship with them, you know, as you're there, getting to know them better, and always tapping into that Lord. Like I always come back to it, but where are you from? What do you do for a living? What do you like to do for fun? You obviously like to travel. Like what else do you like to do? Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids? What are some of your goals and dreams? Where are you going next? You know, just like what you guys said. So, and me, like personally, I'm working on this, but I've shared before that I'm an introvert. But when I get to know people, like we're the best friends, you know, in the whole world. And I think too, when you're really dialed into those goals and dreams and that why that you shared about tonight, Barb, it's a lot easier to share too. And as you do it, it does get a whole lot more comfortable. But again, what you said to Hillary was so great. You know, you've got to rest, you've got to rejuvenate yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. But having that why and focus, that's why, you know, on our next trip, you know, when we go to Myrtle Beach with Michael, yeah, I'm an introvert, but I'm going to share because I'm dialed into my why. So when you guys are dialed into that, it's powerful and it's so much easier to
Powerful.
share with people, plus to be able to help them. You know, ultimately that's why we're doing this, is to be able to help people, you know, whether it be to travel more, travel better, travel for less, or earn that income and daily pay in the process. So I just wanted to add that in there.
I have a couple slides I want to show you, and I'm not quite sure the best way to do that.
Oh, I was going to mention one other thing too. Never underestimate the power of that three-way call. If you guys are uncomfortable or maybe you're new and you know don't know how to answer questions, always tap into one of us because the three-way call is very powerful. But if you feel comfortable, you know, answering your friends and your family's questions, that's fine too. But just know that we're all here. You know, your upline's there for you, and any one of us if you need that.
Somebody, oh, tell me how to make this work. Maybe I did this. I have a couple slides I wanted to end with for inspiration. So let's talk about the first one. If you're persistent, you'll get it. If you're persistent, you'll get it. If you're consistent, you'll keep it. And if you're grateful, you'll attract more of it. This is the number 3 is a personal journey Hillary is on, is to practice being grateful every day. Okay. Second one, let me do that one. Didn't mean to cut you off, Sarah. I was just so excited. I figured out technology. How do I do? What did I just do? Okay, here it is.
No, you're good.
Oh.
This has been awesome.
Okay. We love all the shares, guys. It really makes me happy.
No,
Okay.
this has been great. Absolutely
Okay.
great.
Okay, I'm gonna end this call with act like it's already done. Go back to your belief. Believe it with wholeheartedness. Speak it like it's already done. Whatever your goals are, I'm talking about your personal goals, your belief, your why, what Barb has been talking about all day. Feel like it's already done. I've actually been paying a lot of money for this training. My guru, you're welcome to look her up. Her name is Amanda Frances, Frances. She is a thought leader in wealth building. And she talks about this, not enough to say it. You have to feel it. You have to be grateful. You have to think, what makes me feel something? Just be emotional. And then the universe has no reason not to give it to you. Ask and you shall receive. And if you've never heard this thought before, this concept, I suggest that you ponder it. Write about it, journal about it. What is preventing you from doing this? Because honestly, guys, if you're doing 21 every day and you practice what your why is and you dream about it and you feel it and you're happy, it will happen. You're going to have the success you want. So I just wanted to end the call with that.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so great. God, St. Patty's Day. How'd you do that?
That's
So-
real easy to say from the gal in Cabo.
Yes, yes.
Okay, guys. Great
Yeah, thank you.
meeting. You guys are doing awesome. Keep up the great work. Reach out to your leaders, your buddies, whatever. If you hit that wall, we can support you. And let's go get our 3 guys. Let's kill this thing.
More clovers.
Thank
More
you.
clovers.
Thank you.
Randy.
Awesome
Thank you,
job,
Ed.
everyone.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye.
Great training. Great job, Barb. Hillary. Great job, everybody.